All right, good afternoon, everybody. We finally hooked in here. It is
Yeah,
the On Pattison podcast with Mike Missinelli. First of all, happy Christmas to everybody. I hope everybody had a great holiday, and we've still got another holiday next week to process. But happy Christmas to everybody. I hope you got all the gifts you want. The gift I get today is the presence of one Anthony Sanfilippo, my partner on the On Pattison podcast with Mike Missinelli and Anthony Sanfilippo. How you doing, Ann? How was your Christmas?
it was a great Christmas. I don't know how great of a present that is for you, Mike, but
Well, you take the presents in accordance with what you get. You know,
it was a
you
good
can't
holiday.
express disappointment at certain presents.
It was a good holiday though. We had a very busy couple of days with the family, running all over the place, but it was good. It was a
Excellent.
good
I'm
couple
sure
of days.
most people did the same, and
Yeah.
so hopefully everybody was happy and healthy. All right, this is a big weekend for the Philadelphia Eagles as we come down. Big weekend for the NFL as we come down the home stretch of this season and the playoff ramifications that happen. First of all, the current news that we should bring to you is that it looks like Lane Johnson might be back. Jalen Carter should be back. Kobe Dean probably not. So that's the injury news as we go into the game against the Bills, a monster game for the Eagles, a real big tester for both teams. Also, the Pro Bowl was dropped last week with one snub, Jordan Davis getting snubbed, but five other Eagles making it, four on defense and Cam Jurgens on offense. How'd you feel about the Pro Bowl selections, Ant?
The Cam Jurgens one surprised me a little bit, Mike, because the offensive line just has not been good this year.
Yeah.
It's not been terrible, but it's not been up to its normal standard. So I was a little bit surprised about the Cam Jurgens one, but I felt like the other picks were absolutely appropriate and the right call. All four guys on the defensive side deserved it. You could have made a case for Jordan Davis, but I understand why he wasn't selected.
Yeah, a lot of people were peeved that Jordan Davis did not make it. So it was Jalen Carter, Zach Bond, and the two corners. I got to be honest with you. Cooper DeJean has played pretty solid football this year, but he's had some glaring mistakes as well. I was surprised. Like Quinyon Mitchell's a no-brainer. He's shutting everybody down. I was surprised that Cooper DeJean. I think Cooper DeJean is on that hype machine a little too much.
Well, I think he's better. I think some of the weaker moments he's had this year is when he's had to bounce outside or fill in on the outside corner. I think when he's in that slot, I don't find that he has a lot of very many bad plays or very many plays that go against him where you're like, oh man, Cooper, what were you doing there? I feel like it was more on the plays when he was to the outside. So I'm willing to kind of give a pass for that because he was for a few weeks kind of filling in that role. I think if you look at the second half of the season, especially where he's been in the slot, I think he's done a really nice job.
All right, so the Eagles coming into this game still have a shot at the number 2 seed. Now, to me, that's extremely important to be the number 2 seed because you're playing the 7th seed, and that would be the Packers. I think that's an easier matchup. It could be the Bears as well if they drop all the way down. So the easiest road to the number 2 seed is that the Eagles win out and the Bears lose out.
Correct.
And that would get them solidly in there. We're going to go over all these playoff ramifications and the percentages where teams lay in the NFC East. But in this game, let's talk about the Buffalo game because this looks like a test of wills against Buffalo. The Bills have the number 1 rushing offense in the NFL, and they've been scoring a lot of points. James Cook has 1,532 yards this year. The quarterback has rushed for almost 600 yards this year. The Eagles' run defense, sometimes good, sometimes spotty. Conversely, the Bills can't stop the run at all. The Bills rank 31st in the NFL in EPA rushing, giving up 5 yards per carry. And that's why a lot of people have the Eagles in an upset, even though the Bills are slight favorite in this game. Saquon looks like he's gotten it back together. Although the other caveat is they haven't played anybody. In their last 2 games where they've averaged 30 points a game, they really haven't played anybody. So where do you come out on this?
Yeah, I think this is a tough one to call, Mike. I think that if assuming Jalen Carter plays, I think that changes the dynamic a little bit with the running game, Buffalo's running game. The only thing that I worry about is that the Buffalo running game also includes Josh Allen, right? And he is just so good at creating runs off pass plays. And I think that that's where their advantage might come into play. I look at it and I say, okay, can the Eagles slow down the running backs? Sure, they can. They can bottle up the middle. They can do some nice stuff. but I worry about Josh Allen dropping back and then all of a sudden rolling out and taking off, and the Eagles not having somebody there on him. That's where I think Buffalo has a slight advantage. I think this is a much closer game than some people might think. I think the Eagles will actually play a better game here, kind of going against my theory from before, where I thought that Dallas loss kind of set them up for a failure here. I think it'll be a closer game because I think the Eagles defense will play better. I'm just worried ultimately about the Eagles offense, which I know you're going to get to here in a minute.
Yeah. Well, the line would indicate there's going to be a close game, 1.5. But here's the thing. The Bills have more incentive to win this game than the Eagles. The Eagles can lose the game and still find themselves in a favorable playoff matchup. The Bills are fighting for a division title with the Patriots right now to get a better seed in this game. So they have a little more of an incentive. If the Eagles lose, it would not be catastrophic. Buffalo loses, they don't have a shot to win the division, and they fall down without a home game in the playoffs.
Correct.
So
it matters more to the Bills than it does the Eagles.
It really does. All right, so let's go over some facts and figures here. The Bills likely get zone coverage on Jalen Hurts. Now, Jalen has not been great on zone coverage. So whether their defense is formidable or not, that should be a problem for my man, the quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles. Of course, last week, Cook, 16 carries for 117 yards, 7.3 yards per carry, with two TDs. Four out of his last 5 games, 100-plus yards. So he's really rolling. Now, Allen, conversely, wasn't that great. He's had 3 subpar games in his last 5. Fourth highest scoring offense for the Bills. The Eagles, the third scoring against. So, again, you get that clash. Eagles holding teams to 19 points per game, holding quarterbacks to a 74 rating, and they're holding running backs to 4.4 yards per carry, which is just okay. James Cook is averaging a little more than that. Those numbers mean anything to you?
Again, I think I look at the Eagles, the way they stop the running game in certain aspects, but then there are teams who run the ball really well against them, right? You like go back to the Bears game. Like the Bears had really smart game plan for how to run.
They had a great offensive scheme,
right? They had a scheme that worked really well. Whereas the last couple of weeks, you've gone against teams that are nothing special, and I think it showed a little bit. They were a little bit better against those teams. I really think it will come down to that. Can Buffalo scheme their running game in a way that keeps Cook running at the level that he's been running at? I don't know, and that's where I think it's. I think the Eagles will be better than they were against the Bears, but maybe not as good as they were the last couple of weeks against the Raiders and the Commanders.
All right, so Saquon, 120-plus yards, 6 yards per carry in 2 of his last 3 games. Who were they against? Who were the last 3? See, that's the thing. I'm looking at all these really good numbers that the Eagles have over the last couple of weeks, and then I go, it's the Raiders and the Commanders.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like that's why I'm a little bit torn with this, because I'm not bought back. I know that there's a lot of fans who've jumped back onto the bandwagon again. Like, oh, see, they fixed it, they corrected it, everything's hunky-dory. This is still a championship caliber team. And I don't buy it when it's coming against the Raiders and Commanders. You do it this week, then maybe I'm on board a little bit more, right? But until I see them do it this week, I just can't go, everything's fine. I just can't.
No, I hear you. Buffalo, by the way, also has to deal with Hurts running because he's got 30-plus yards in 5 of his last 6 games. Buffalo gave up 46 yards to Shedeur Sanders last week. So I think Jalen's legs could be a key in this game. Buffalo versus running backs, we already talked about it, 5.2 yards per carry. That's 30th in the NFL. But their D-backs are pretty good. They're holding quarterbacks to the 5th lowest rate in the league, their defensive backs, even though they don't get that much of a pass rush. They're in the middle of the pack pass rush with Joey Bosa and Greg Rousseau, 18th in sacks, 20 in quarterback hits, very average. And they're allowing 22 points per game, which is in the middle of the pack. So all these numbers, you can crunch them, and you still come up with Buffalo has more incentive to win this game than the Eagles do, and they're home.
Yeah, and then the one thing I'd say about you're right, they don't get enough pressure in the sense of getting to the quarterback. But I do wonder if they can get enough pressure. In other words, even if they don't sack him, if they just force Hurts to throw the ball into or sooner than he wants to, right? Then I think that works in Buffalo's advantage, because I don't think that Jalen gets off good passes a lot when he's under pressure. Secondarily, I look at the Eagles offense, and you talked about Jalen running the ball more. We've agreed on this show in previous episodes that he has to run the ball more. I don't want it to suddenly become just here's Jalen coming out of that shotgun, doing a two-step fake drop, and then starts running. I think that play becomes very readable over time. I think you need to get a little bit more creative, a little bit more with the play action or the old RPOs coming out from under center, faking the handoff, keeping the ball, whatever the case might be. There needs to be a little bit more creativity, and we have not seen that level of creativity yet.
We haven't, but cold weather, tough to run in, especially for your quarterback's mindset.
Yeah.
Like, does he want to run and get crunched on that hard turf and get crunched in cold weather? I mean, that's one of those deterrents to running the football. He doesn't like it.
It's about winning, man. It's all about winning.
I
right?
understand it.
Got to keep the main thing, Mike.
Keep the main thing, which is winning. You're absolutely right about that. All right, let's look at some playoff scenarios. First of all, here it is right now as we go into this weekend. Seahawks 1, Bears 2, Eagles 3, Bucks or Panthers 4. If the Panthers win, they have the edge. They could eliminate the Bucks to win that terrible division. 49ers at 5, Rams at 6, and the Packers are at 7. So the Eagles right now against the Rams, but that could change.
Yes.
All right, let's look at the percentages now on what can happen in the final 2 games. Let's first of all start with the Eagles in the NFC East. The Eagles win. They have a 70% chance to stay in that number 3 spot. They have a 30% chance to get into the 2 seed if they win. Loss and a win, the 2 seed is out the window, and they have a 99% chance to be locked into the 3 seed. Win and loss against the Commanders, well, that's not going to happen, but same, 99%. And if loss still gives them a 92% chance to stay in that 3rd seed. So the chances are they're going to be in that number 3 seed playing the number 6 seed.
Well, can I stop you for 1 second? You say the win-loss or lose to the Commanders is not going to happen. I'm not sure that they play everybody next week.
That's true. That is a possibility. If they lose to Buffalo, there's no incentive to win that game. So a loss still keeps them in.
Well, there is an incentive for that. So loss, you could technically, depends on what happens with Carolina, you could fall to 4. Right?
That's true. They got to be aware of that.
Yeah,
that would be 7 losses, right?
Right, and then if you fall to 4, you're facing the 2nd place team from the NFC West.
You know what the tie break is with Carolina and the Eagles?
I think Carolina. I think it's as simple as if Carolina wins their last 2 and the Eagles lose their last 2, that the Eagles fall to 4.
Oh yeah, the Eagles do have an 8% chance to be in that 4 spot with a loss.
Yeah,
so that's not a lot. All right, let's look at the NFC North. The Chicago Bears right now, as of now, 2 seed. Best outcome is number 1 seed. Worst outcome is 7 seed. So win gets them 59% for the number 1 seed. Loss win, and they play at the 49ers and Detroit Lions. I think that's the more likely scenario. Loss win. I don't think they're going to beat the 49ers there, and the Lions are dead in the water. They won't be playing anybody. 100% that would get them the number 2 seed.
Correct.
Win and loss, if they beat the 49ers and somehow lose to Detroit, it's a 96% chance for the 2 seed. And loss gives them a 42% chance to still stay in that number 2 seed, but a 24% chance to get into the number 3 seed. I love these numbers. I love these extrapolations of data.
It's craziness.
Isn't it fun?
Just play the game. So although I will tell you, I have at times, and I still do, wander onto the playoff machine on ESPN's website.
Yes.
And just play around with the scenarios. Like, I'd rather just know what the scenarios are rather than the percentages. Like, I don't need percentages. Don't show me percentages. I don't care what the percentages are. I just want to know, like, if this happens and then this happens, who gets it? Okay.
Yeah, I get it. And it's hard to really extrapolate that because you don't know what the results are going to be from time to time. So you got to rely on the percentages. For instance, the Carolina Panthers, who you just mentioned.
Yeah.
Win, 88%, they get the number 4 spot. Loss win, 100%, they get the 4 spot. So they have the edge right now. Yeah. Win loss to Tampa Bay, they only have a 50% chance to make it there. So that's the key game. Their last game is at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers after they play Seattle. So I think loss for the Panthers, although you kind of like them a little bit in this game,
I like them to cover.
And
I like them
then
to cover. I don't know if they win.
they have to win in Tampa. So it's not completely down and out for the Tampa Bay Bucks at this point.
No, if the Buccaneers beat Miami, this week, they guarantee themselves to play for the division against Carolina at home next Sunday, regardless of what happens in the Panthers game.
All right, let's look at the NFC West. Seahawks, win-win, number 1 seed. Loss win, they're at Carolina, they're at San Francisco. Loss win, 66% chance to get the 5 spot. Win-loss, 45% chance to get the 5 spot, 42% chance to get the 6 spot. So again, they could be in Eagleville, depending on what happens on a win-loss. And a loss for the Seahawks, which won't happen, 97% chance that they'll be in the 6th seed, and that will definitely be a matchup with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, you say it won't happen. You will say it won't happen if they lose to Carolina. They play San Francisco that last game of the year.
Yeah, but I don't think they're losing to Carolina. I think you give Carolina a little more credit than they're due.
I don't think they're going to lose to them either. I just think flying cross country, right, playing that early game this week, coming off of the holiday, could be a little bit tougher of a game than I think that 7-point spread indicates. That's all.
All right, how you feel about the 49ers' chances? Because they play 2 tough games, but both at home. Bears, Seahawks. Win-win, 100% earns them the number 1 seed, and that would really be earning it if they beat those 2 teams.
It came out of nowhere a little bit, right? The 49ers? I mean,
absolutely. Despite a plethora of injuries,
yes,
the 49ers can still get the number 1 seed by winning out. Now, a loss to the Bears and a win against the Seattle Seahawks gives them 51% chance to get that number 6 seed, and again, that's in Eagleville. A win against the Bears and a loss against Seattle, which I think could happen. That would be 2 losses to the Seahawks, 87% chance to get the number 6 seed. So it looks like the 49ers. It looks like the Rams because the Rams are in the same kind of scenario.
Well,
win-loss, if they win and lose, and they've got the Falcons and they've got the Cardinals, which I'm sensing win-win their final 2 games, that puts them in the 5th spot, and that would leave the Seahawks or the Bears for what the Eagles are.
Let me ask you this then, Mike. If we let's assume since the percentages tell us that the Eagles are likely to play one of the 3 Western Division teams.
Yes.
Right? Unless they move up to 2, they're going to, and they stay at 3, they're going to get one of the NFC West teams. Do you have an order of preference of who you'd want to play?
Yeah, I do not want to play the Rams because it's a revenge game.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And the way the Rams lost that game, to me, gives them really extra incentive. That's the team I would love to avoid.
Yeah.
Secondly, I'll take my chances against the 49ers over the Seahawks.
Yeah, I agree with you.
My preference would be Seahawks and then, Rams, 49ers, Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm with you in this. I think that the best matchup for the Eagles would be the 49ers because – even though the 49ers are putting up some points, and they've been putting up some points against some bad teams too. I think you'll see a little bit different, offense for the 49ers against Chicago and against Seattle these next 2 weeks. Maybe make people feel a little bit better about that matchup. Keep in mind the 49ers, they're playing this season without their 2 best defensive players. And Bosa and Warner are both out for the season. They both got hurt like a week apart from each other.
Yeah.
And they've been okay defensively, but they're not what they once were defensively. I think that's the best matchup. The Seahawks have a really good defense, and I think that they could give the Eagles offense some fits. But you're right. The Rams coming back in here, they proved last year in the snow game in the playoffs that they could hang with the Eagles and they could play with the Eagles. Then they should have won the game earlier this season. I feel like that's double revenge in a lot of ways for them.
Yeah.
They're the team you want to avoid the most.
I'm definitely afraid of the Rams. Now, here's the way I think it's going to project, by the way. I think the Rams are going to win out. I don't think that – I mean, can they possibly lose to Atlanta and Arizona?
No.
So that would give them the number 1 seed, correct?
Not unless if San Francisco wins out.
Seattle has to lose 1.
Seattle has to lose 1.
If Seattle wins out, they win the tiebreak?
Both Seattle and San Francisco each have to lose one of the 2 games.
Okay, let's just assume that San Francisco doesn't lose because they're playing.
Then San Francisco's the one. But
if Seattle wins both as well, who wins that
Well,
tiebreak.
they can't both because they play each other. So one of them has to lose.
Okay.
Yeah, one of them has to lose.
Well, the Rams play
Seattle and the 49ers play each other. So one of them.
I'm talking about the Rams. I'm talking about the Rams now.
Rams lose
the
Rams lose tiebreakers to both.
They do lose tiebreakers.
But if both teams lose one game, so if let's say the 49ers lose to the Bears, but then beat the Seahawks and the Rams win out, the Rams are the number one seed.
Okay, just say the Seattle wins out, the Rams win out.
Seattle
wins that tiebreak.
Yeah.
Okay. So that would leave Seattle number 1.
Yep.
Bears 2. Eagles 3. Bucks or the Panthers. 49ers. Rams. Then the 49ers.
Yeah.
The Eagles against the 49ers. That's the matchup you want.
It's the best of the three.
You don't want the Rams.
It's the best of the 3 matchups. There's no question.
Okay.
The matchup you want is the NFC North team and get to 2. That's the matchup you want.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. Now let's look at our power rankings for this week.
Yeah.
I'd love to play this game with you. You tell me where you think the Eagles are.
Okay.
So it goes Seattle.
Yeah.
Rams 2.
Yeah.
Patriots 3. The Bills are 4.
It's crazy. I don't know.
Scary a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit. It's a little bit. I'm not a huge believer in that number. I don't know why they leap. I know Denver struggled a little bit yesterday, but I don't know. I still think they're a better team overall than Buffalo.
All right. 5, the Jaguars.
You know what? They're playing some really great football right now.
I can't believe it, but they are.
I got to give them credit. I don't know how else to describe it, but Liam Cohen's done a nice job there.
He has. As soon as they got Doug Peterson out of there, they went skyward. Poor Doug. Poor Doug, the quarterback whisperer. Number 6, 49ers. Number 7, the Denver Broncos. 49ers ahead of the Broncos in the power rankings, which is interesting to me. The Bears are 8. The Texans are 9. And the Chargers are 10, and I use those power rankings to make a play on that game. They face each other this week. So I took the power rankings in consideration before I made my selection, which will come a little later in the show. And your Philadelphia Eagles are 11. And I guess it goes without saying because they lost to the Chargers. They lost to the Bears.
I guess, Mike.
If you're voting, you can't very well put the Eagles over ahead of those 2 teams, can you? Because you lost to them straight up.
Yeah, right. I mean, you lost to both of those guys.
You beat
teams,
the Rams in there too.
Yeah, but obviously they have a better record. And then I think maybe I think you look at Detroit and kind of how they've fallen apart, and so maybe that Eagles win over the Lions isn't nearly as impressive now as it may have been at the time. The Packers have shown that they're not nearly as good as they were going into that game against the Eagles, and maybe that win doesn't look as good as it did at the time.
Yeah.
So I think some of the Eagles. It's not that the Eagles haven't righted the ship against bad teams. It's that maybe some of their wins against teams that you thought were better than they are lost some luster.
Gotcha.
That's the only way I can explain it. Right.
Yeah. The power rankings at this stage of the season mean nothing. Doesn't mean anything because you're going into the big tournament coming up. All right, we have so much to talk about on the show. We'll take our first break on the show, but so much to talk about, including Anthony not really ecstatic about Bryce Harper playing for Team USA in the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah.
Not exactly ecstatic. We'll talk about that. Also, the Sixers, boy, they can really play when they got the big 3 in the lineup, don't they? And we'll have Ant's Flyer report, and we'll be all over the map, including a list of Christmas songs that we both like, what I think should be ranked top 5. All right, it is the All Pattison podcast with Mike Missinelli, Anthony Sanfilippo, back after this.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's. Warm up this fall with an incredible seafood boil. Try the Uncle George with succulent snow crabs, tasty mussels, and shrimp. There's the Pete's Feast with 2 pounds of sweet succulent crab legs, a dozen shrimp, clams, and a pound of mussels. Or create your own boil. Add a lobster tail or a delicious Dungeness cluster. Include smoked sausage, corn, and potatoes, served in our tasty broth, made with white wine and our signature seasonings. A shellfish lover's dream at Chickies and Pete's.
The Peruzzi Automotive Group on Business Route 1 in Fairless Hills is looking for auto techs, all skill levels. Here's a chance to work for a locally owned family business that offers many benefits. For more information, call the service director, John Damarotis, at 215-943-6200. That's 215-943-6200, or visit any Peruzzi service department. A flawless occasion begins at the Capitol Grill. From the moment you step into the Capitol Grill, located in the heart of Center City, the experience is one of comfortable elegance. Whether you're looking to host a private affair, a perfect lunch stop, or dinner destination, start your occasion at the Capitol Grill today. Visit thecapitolgrill.com or call 215-545-9588. That's 215-545-9588 for the Capitol Grill, Center City.
Ventresca Limited, the Delaware Valley men's store, is located in historic Doylestown. For casual clothing in denim to business suits and tuxedos, Ventresca Limited has a large selection you have to see to believe. The experienced and knowledgeable sales staff can show you the many brand labels that have made Ventresca Limited in Doylestown a must for men concerned about their image. Select from Canali, Brax Jeans, Hickey Freeman, Johnson Murphy Footwear, and much more. Custom alterations are free. Visit Ventresca Limited on the web at ventresca.com.
Back with the On Pattison podcast. I'm Mike Missinelli, Anthony Sam Flippo, riding shotgun. Well, you know, in this Eagles-Bills game, guess who the Eagles get as their play-by-play and color announcer?
Who do they got this week?
They get TB12.
Oh, you're
They
Tom
get,
Brady.
they get Tom Brady with Kevin Burkhardt, KB and TB.
Brady's not bad. I'm not.
He's improved immensely this year, I think.
Yeah, I'm not anti-Brady. I'm not. I know that there are people who don't think that he should be able to do that and still be a part owner of a team, but I don't think. I mean, look, the team that he's the part owner of is the worst team in football.
Yeah,
so
they think he's got to be embarrassed. He's got to hide his head.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what him broadcasting and being in these meetings with coaches is helping the Raiders, because it's
certainly not. He's not giving them any insight on how to win out there in Las Vegas. And the Sixers. I'm going to just throw a couple factoids at you. You tell me what they mean. They are 6-6 with Embiid in the lineup. They're 0-3 with the big three on the court. What does that say to you?
That Embiid and George together are not a good pairing. Look, Maxi's going to be on the court at all times. We know that, right? So it's not about Maxi Embiid or Maxi George. It's about Embiid and George and how they fit together in that lineup, and they just don't fit together. And look, 0-3, it's only 3 games. But, man, when you have those 3 guys playing, you expect to win, and they just don't when they're out there. It's crazy.
It really is. I mean, it defeats the whole purpose of why they put these guys together, you know? Yeah. It's like, and it's a small sample size. It's only 3 games. So they may find a way how to play to win. But the whole design of it was to put these 3 guys on the floor at the same time. Rarely do they get on the floor at the same time. And when they do, they haven't won yet. And Embiid, when he's in the lineup, even without George, they're mediocre. They're 500. And it looks like a team that they're in the middle of the pack right now. They're not in the play-in tournament, but I could see them very well trying to survive in the play-in tournament this year to try to move up somewhere in the standings to get into a favorable playoff position against the teams that aren't really that good in their conference, to be honest with you.
I was just going to say that, Mike. I mean, you look around the East, and obviously Detroit's gotten off to a great start, and the Knicks are decent, right? But do you look at either of them and go, oh, man, I'm worried about playing them in a 7-game series? No, right? Right.
And the Sixers have a signature win over the Knicks.
Yeah. Like, it's wild to me. I still think this is one of those seasons where they're plodding along, and maybe by the end of the year, we're looking at it, and the Sixers are kind of in that, 4 or 5, maybe 6 spot, whatever it is.
Are you suggesting they could shake up the world?
And suddenly be like, they can win this conference.
Oh, my God. Sam Filippo going on a conference champion.
Now, we could be at that point in April. I'm not saying that we're definitely going to be there, but it's just like if these guys can figure out how to get it together and play together, there's no reason they couldn't be better than most of the teams in the conference.
Man, you are way optimistic, my brother.
I won't call myself optimistic. I'm just saying I could see a path to that. Right?
You're throwing me for a loop here because you were so down on the prospect of the big three playing together, and now I somebody in the conference.
Yes, based off what I've seen, they don't look good together, right? And I want to bring this. Larry Frassetto has a good point. He says, where does Kelly Oubre fit in when he comes back? I actually like Oubre in the mix with these guys, but maybe not all four on the court at the same time. I think if you can figure out a rotation of sorts to kind of, sometimes it's two of them on the floor with Oubre, and maybe you know what I'm saying? One guy goes off, another guy goes off, whatever. Like, I think maybe you could get to something, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not a big Kelly Oubre guy. I'm really not. I think a guy that's been passed around the league like him, there's something missing. Like, he's, to me, doesn't exude winning at any level. Like, he'll put up some numbers and he'll look good at times and he'll get nice dunks and he'll make a 3-point shot. But I know he's one of these guys that just winning has not followed him anywhere he's gone.
Doesn't have that gene.
Yeah, look at all the teams. Why do teams pass on him? Why do teams pedal him?
I get it. There are guys who are
think of the Kelly Oubre guy.
There are guys who are decent players who just don't win. And you say, why don't they win? And it's hard to put a fine point on it, right? But sometimes it happens.
It really is. All right, let's move on to some hockey. I want to read a headline to you that I read in the Philadelphia Inquirer.
Yeah.
There's no denying the Flyers' good vibes. What's behind this positive shift? Go ahead. I'll lobby that to you.
Well, so here's the thing, Mike. Here we are. It's day after Christmas, and the Flyers are in second place in the Metropolitan Division. And they have the 6th best point percentage in the NHL. And they're doing that without Trevor Zegras is having a great year, but I think he's like 30th in the league in scoring, right? He's their best scorer. You're doing it with Mishkov having a bad year, right? They're doing it with a bunch of like mediocre middle 6 forwards and a collection of defensemen that are just like, okay, guys, but not anything special. Dan Vladar, the goalie we've talked about, has had a sensational season. But can he do that into the second half? He's never played more than 30 games in a year, and now all of a sudden he's going to be asked to carry the load. So there's a lot of still question marks. This is not a perfect team. There's a lot of flaws still. The power play is still terrible. But the conference is not good. It's like we were just saying for the Sixers, right? So you look at it and you say the best team in the conference is Carolina, and the Flyers have played them 3 times, lost to them all 3 times, but once in overtime, twice in a shootout. So they've been in every game with the best team in the conference when they've played them. I believe that the Flyers, as long as they can stay healthy, because they don't have the depth. That's the one thing when I look at this team and I say, where can they fall back? They can fall back if injuries occur because they don't have depth in the system that's NHL ready. But aside from that, they believe in what Rick Tocchet and his staff are preaching. They buy into it, and they're out there, and they're busting their asses every night. And they're in every game. It's crazy, but they're fun to watch. They may not win anything, but they're fun to watch.
Interesting. Anthony, of course, covers the Flyers for on Pattison. And you've lauded the temperament of one Rick Tocchet, and you like the fact that he gets in the media's rear end every now and then.
Yeah, and the thing of it is I don't mind that he's open and honest and transparent. Like we should all love that. It's what we always want our coaches to be. We don't want coach speak, right? So we all like that. I thought when he went at the media though the other day with the Mishkov questions, and he says, "You guys are asking too many Mishkov questions."
Yep.
I thought it was a misread of the room. And what I don't mean by the room of reporters, I mean the room of the Philadelphia fan base, because Matvei Mishkov matters to this fan base because they haven't had a star player in so long, right? And you know how it is, Mike. If the star player or the big name player didn't matter, like we would ask the same questions about Britton Covey that we ask about Jalen Hurts, like the same amount of story, and we'd write the same amount of stories about players further down the line. There are certain players that matter more. So I think Rick has to answer those questions. He may not like it. He might not like that it's repetitive.
Well, he didn't blow up until like the fifth question, right?
Right. Fourth question. It was the fourth question.
Well, fourth question.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I'll put myself in his head. He knows what he wants to say. He wants to say the kid's underachieving. He wants to light a fire under the kid's rump.
Yes.
But he doesn't want to do it in public. And so when those questions are asked, he boils up inside thinking, I really want to answer this question, but I can't.
Correct.
And that's why he gets frustrated and turns it back on the media.
Yes, you're 1,000% right, because everything that he has said about Mishkov publicly is 100% right. And I agree with him. Like the kid came into camp, not prepared. It's going to take all season for him to catch up, if he catches up at all. It's going to be more important next summer than it is right now. All these things are true. He's got to still learn the game. The language barrier is still a thing. There's a lot of everything that he has said is 100% accurate. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you just blow it off through the media, because the fan reaction is going to be, well, see, you're ruining Mishkov.
Yeah.
You're the reason Mishkov's struggling. They don't understand. And you know how it is. Fans don't really know the sport of hockey. They just like the outcomes, right?
Yeah.
They like they like the game, right?
Uh-huh.
They don't know it that well. And so I think that's the reason you have this happen, Mike. And so you have to understand that. And if you're Rick Tocchet, you have to answer those questions. That was probably
how do you answer it? See, that's the thing. How does he answer that question? Does he tell the truth, or does he just say, "Well, he's a development player, and we're satisfied with his development"?
I mean,
that's against what Tocchet would be about.
I know it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't scenario.
Exactly.
Right?
He's in a no-win situation answering a question like that, because he's an honest coach. He wants to say honestly. He knows that if he gives an answer that's BS, people will call him on the BS question, and he doesn't want to hurt the kid's feelings by putting his true feelings out there.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's a tough spot to be in. I think, though, what you do is you answer a couple of questions, and then you kind of give a half answer to the other questions and just kind of get through them. That's how I would approach it. If I was the PR guy consulting Rick Tocchet, that's what I would say to him.
Yeah.
Don't especially about Mishkov, don't turn it on the media, because then the fans are going to react negatively.
All right. Before we get to a Phillies topic, and the topic's going to be Bryce Harper, I want to throw out this poll that I saw that I'm stealing from I forget the entity that put it out, but I'm curious to know what our audience would think. This is your chance to vote. If you're watching the show online, this is your chance to vote on. The question is, what is the best Christmas present for Philadelphia fans, Philadelphia sports fans? A Super Bowl for the Eagles.
Okay.
B, World Series win with Harper.
Okay.
C, Sixers Embiid with a playoff win. or D, Flyers making the playoffs. So there's the four choices. Again, Super Bowl for the Eagles, A, World Series win with Harper, B, Sixers Embiid playoff win, C, Flyers making the playoffs, D. We'll take your votes online here. I want to take a break right now, man. We'll come back. We'll try to get some votes on the other side and tell you how the poll's doing. But also we'll talk about Bryce Harper playing. I think it's great. Captain America and USA for USA Baseball, and not so sure that he likes it. It's Mike Missinelli on the On Pattison podcast with Anthony Sanfilippo. Back after this.
Are you living with relentless pain? St. Mary has a new way to help. Knee and hip replacements with a smarter process for faster recovery, earning prestigious awards for quality and value. A rapid recovery program has you walking just hours after surgery, and breakthrough advances such as custom-fit joints position you for a longer pain-free life. 215-710-5888. St. Mary Orthopedics. It's your health. Expect more.
Your day-to-day life is hectic between having to pick up the kids, make dinner, the countless other tasks that you got to get done. Rob's Automotive and Collision is there to make your life a whole lot easier. Make sure you take advantage of their spacious waiting rooms, the large flat-screen TVs, complimentary coffee and muffins, and free Wi-Fi. So even when you do have to stop, Rob's is there to make you feel right at home. Give Rob's a call today at 215-826-9200 for any of your auto repair needs.
This is Tommy Green from the 1993 National League champion Phillies. Every champion needs a good game plan. BCWSA and I want to make sure you have a game plan when it comes to conserving our most precious resource, water. Whether you're washing dishes, brushing your teeth, or watering your garden, there are ways you can save water and save money. Visit bcwsa.net for tips on conserving water. BCWSA, proven.
Think banking hasn't changed? Think again. At Penn Community Bank, we've been helping communities thrive for 150 years. From our nationally recognized Access Checking that offers the peace of mind of no overdrafts, to student and free checking plus options with perks that will make you wonder what you did without them, like early direct deposit, overdraft grace, and Zelle. Learn more at penncommunitybank.com/products. Penn Community Bank. Here we grow. Account and feature terms, restrictions, and conditions apply. Ask for full details. Member FDIC.
Yeah, it's the Pattison podcast with Mike Missinelli, Anthony Sanfilippo with us. All right, I want to take your vote first on this poll that we threw out before the break.
Yeah.
Best Christmas present for Philadelphia sports fans: Super Bowl for Eagles, World Series win with Harper, Sixers MB with a playoff win, Flyers making the playoffs. Where are you going?
Well, obviously, you would assume that everybody would say a Super Bowl, right? Because it's an Eagles town. But I think because you're coming off the fact that they just won one, that it's probably not the number one answer. If the Sixers one was more than just win a playoff round, I could be swayed.
Conference championship.
Yes, that would be different. Win the Eastern Conference with the Sixers, and I go, okay.
That would be your number one.
That would
that number one.
Could be, but I'd say World Series just because it's the Phillies have gotten close and haven't been able to get over the hump. I would say that the World Series with Bryce Harper would be the choice that people would pick.
Okay, let's talk about Bryce Harper.
Well, is that where the vote is? Do you know or no?
I'll reveal the vote later. I'm waiting for some votes to come in online here.
Okay, all right.
See where we go with this. I have the final results. All right, Bryce Harper playing for Team USA. I love Team USA. I love that whole concept.
Yeah.
They didn't have any pitching at all last year. That's why they couldn't win it.
Yeah.
This year, a couple of horses are saying we're gonna pitch.
Yeah.
Harper is gonna play. Is there a reason you don't like it?
I'm okay with him participating. He didn't play the last time because he was coming off of the elbow injury, had to get to Tommy John, so he couldn't participate the last time. So I'm okay with him participating. But here's what I worry about with Bryce Harper. Okay. I worry that Bryce Harper participates in the World Baseball Classic. The All-Star game is going to be here in Philadelphia this year. Bryce Harper wants to be part of the Home Run Derby. Right? So like he does all these things that are on a national stage, but then Bryce Harper could potentially miss a third of the season with some kind of injury like he had last year. And that's what bothers me, Mike. It's more about the stuff to look good on a national level than it is about what's going on with the team right here. That's where I get a little bit
interesting. What other examples do you find of that? Because he does pander a lot to the Philadelphia audience.
He does pander a lot, and I just think it's not an example. Let me give you an example. Say, oh, he does this all the time. I do think he wants to keep himself out there as kind of a face of a franchise kind of thing, even if he's really not. If you had to ask me who I think the face of the Phillies franchise is, I think it's Schwarber. That's not a knock on Harper. I just think that Schwarber resonates more for this franchise. But I think that as he gets older, and we've now seen that he's not playing 150 games a year. Every season there seems to be something with Bryce, whether it was the elbow or then it was the wrist thing this past year. He's been beamed by pitches and had a missed time. He had a hamstring injury. As he gets older, he's going to play less and less and less. So why are we focusing more on these international things or these national spotlight events? He's also said in 28 he wants to play in the Olympics, right? I mean, at that point he'll be 35, I guess, or 36.
You're suggesting he's going to wear down.
Yes, and
get hurt. Now, I hear you with the home run derby. You think he would be in that home run derby because it's in Philly?
So
you would have pressure to play in that. And so taking like 100 torque swings in a home run derby won't serve him very well.
Well, so here's the thing. Like, it could serve him just fine. And I don't know if look, if they're going to ask one of the Phillies to participate, whether it's Harper or Schwarber, one of them is going to participate in that home run derby. I would bet you Harper wants to do it, just because that's
Schwarber can't not do it. I mean, that would make a great byplay to have them both in it, wouldn't it?
It would be great if they were both in it. I don't necessarily know if they'll do that. Though. I don't know if there's been a time.
Major League Baseball is smart. They would have a story within a story if they did that.
Have them face off against each other in the first round.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. Or in later rounds.
Yeah, but you don't know, right? But you guarantee the matchup if you do it in the first round, right?
Yeah. But you have anticipation for it happening if you don't.
It also guarantees a Philly goes into at least the second round. So if you want to look at it that way, right? Look at it that way. But
I don't think that would be the best idea to have them face off in the first round. I think the drama of them going in certain brackets and it can meet, perfect.
Yeah. Okay. But this is my point though, Mike. Like I think that sometimes it needs to just come down to what's the best thing for the Phillies. And being away from them at spring training. Like I asked Rob Thompson about this at the winter meetings a couple weeks ago. About what we were talking about the World Baseball Classic, and he's like, we support all our players go, blah blah blah. He says all the right things, but it does throw off what they're planning to do at spring training because you're losing your best players for 2 weeks.
It's like we're back to the Embiid shouldn't play in the Olympics.
It's the same. I think it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
It's not really the same thing. Bryce Harper is, doesn't have the same medical condition Embiid has. At this particular stage, he could wear out. Yes, he could, but it's not like he's playing with a ACL tear.
No, but he misses time every year. This is what my concern is with Bryce, because when was the last time? If I had to ask you, Mike, what do you think the last time, not counting the 2020 season because that was COVID, but when was the last time Bryce Harper played 150 games in a season? What do you think?
Well,
and that would, 150 is missing 12.
You're telling me it's got to be before 2020, 2018.
Yeah, it is. 2019 was the last time that he played 150 games. He's missed at least 20 games in every season since the pandemic, and some seasons more than that. Like, it's a lot.
There's definitely a reason for that. He's got the highest torque swing in baseball, I think. I mean, the way he
does
that, it's like
for sure,
craziness.
For sure, he's a great player. He's a great player, and you want him in your lineup at all times. So taking part in these other things, like the World Baseball Classic, is fine. It's fun. It's good for the game. I get it. But does it have to be the 30-plus?
Listen, I want it. I love seeing Philly players playing in meaningful games like that against other countries. I love it. I love the Olympics. I love that whole concept to put America's best against others.
I do too.
I think if you have Skeens pitching for you and you have Skubal pitching for you, a lot different than last year when they had that guy from the Cardinals, Mikolas, as their ace. Crying out loud.
I agree with you from that perspective, but it's easier for me if I'm looking at it from a fan perspective. It's easier for me to say I can get behind Team USA and root for them and not have my guys be part of it, because I know that they'll be in better. It could help them be in better physical spot. Like, what happens if they get hurt in the World Baseball Classic? Like, what happens?
That's always going to be a concern whether you're going to get hurt.
Right, but it's the World Baseball. It's like, it's not like it's the season. Like, look, if an injury happens in the season, it happens in the season. It's part of the season. World Baseball Classic, All-Star games, things along those lines. Like,
we're not going to agree on this. I love the World Baseball Classic. I love the whole concept of it.
Okay.
I really do, because the other teams elevate their level of play, even though they're not major league players. A lot of them are, but they still have a lot of guys that aren't in the big leagues trying to compete from other countries, like the Dominican countries.
I would love the World Baseball Classic to immediately follow the World Series.
You think guys want to play it that long of a season? You think guys?
No, they don't want to.
It? No,
they don't. I'm saying what I would like. Because then at least you at least have guys who are playing baseball. The pitchers are built up and all that stuff. I would rather it then than in March.
That would be a flat no for the Players Association.
Where you could destroy a full season. You could destroy a season by having a pitcher throwing the ball at a time when harder and whatever, like too many pitches at a time when he shouldn't be. Like I worry about it in March. And you're not going to interrupt the season to do it mid-season. So do it immediately after the season.
I got you. All right, let me update this poll here.
Yeah.
Best Christmas present for Philadelphia sports fans. A, Super Bowl for Eagles. B, World Series win with Harper. C, Sixers and B with a playoff win. Playoff series win. And D, the Flyers making the playoffs.
Yeah.
We have Landros 2 saying Eagles Super Bowl followed by Flyers.
Now, Landros, I should let you know, Landros is one of my regulars on the Snow the Goalie podcast.
Okay.
I'm a big hockey fan. Hockey fan.
He couldn't put Lindros, so he put Landros.
Yeah.
Right? I'm on to him.
Yeah.
He would be incorrect. The winner in this poll, 52.3% of the vote, World Series Phillies win with Harper.
Yeah.
Second, Eagles Super Bowl, only at 36.7%. Flyers making the playoffs is at 8.9%. Sixers MB with a playoff series win, 2.1%.
Okay,
that's so telling.
Let me change this around a little bit on you, Mike. And now you tell me does this change this around?
Okay.
Let's say it doesn't guarantee a championship. Let's say the poll doesn't guarantee a championship, but it guarantees that because we can't say the Flyers because they're not going to go that far. But let's say it guarantees that each of the Eagles, the Phillies, or the Sixers reach the championship round, reach the Super Bowl, World Series, NBA Final. Right? Doesn't guarantee a win, but guarantees that they're playing for the championship. And maybe the Flyers win a playoff round. That's what we'll give them, the winning a round in the playoffs. Does that change the
winning a round? And does it beat the Phillies winning World Series with Harper?
No. What I'm saying is, let's pretend the World Series doesn't exist.
Okay.
Okay, so let's say that the poll now, we're changing the poll, but the question is that the teams just reach the final. It doesn't say that they win it. It just says that they get there and they're playing for it. Does it change? Does it change the order of the way people would vote?
Well, the team that would be unlikely playing for a championship to me would be the Flyers.
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
And then it would be the Sixers.
Yeah, but my point is, does the Sixers reaching the NBA Finals,
is it bigger?
Is that bigger
than the Phillies winning a World Series?
The Phillies just getting to the World Series.
Just getting to the World Series.
Yes, because they've been there in the last couple of years. Right?
I would say, I think yes, it would be.
The Sixers would be bigger.
Yes.
So if we rephrased the question, it would change the numbers, I think.
Yes, it would.
Okay.
All right, that's a good pull by you.
All right.
Let's take a quick break. We're going to come back. We got some quick hitters, including some Christmas songs that we may indicate are your favorite Christmas songs of all time. All right. I've got a new school list and an old school list.
Okay.
It is the On Pattison podcast. I'm Mike Missinelli with Anthony Sanfilippo. Back after this.
With an incredible seafood boil, try the Uncle George with succulent snow crabs, tasty mussels, and shrimp. There's the Pete's Feast with 2 pounds of sweet succulent crab legs, a dozen shrimp, clams, and a pound of mussels. Or create your own boil. Add a lobster tail or a delicious Dungeness cluster. Include smoked sausage, corn, and potatoes, served in our tasty broth, made with white wine and our signature seasonings. A shellfish lover's dream at Chickies and Pete's.
The Peruzzi Automotive Group on Business Route 1 in Fairless Hills is looking for auto techs, all skill levels. Here's a chance to work for a locally owned family business that offers many benefits. For more information, call the service director, John Damarotis, at 215-943-6200. That's 215-943-6200, or visit any Peruzzi service department.
Are you living with relentless pain? St. Mary has a new way to help. Knee and hip replacements with a smarter process for faster recovery, earning prestigious awards for quality and value. A rapid recovery program has you walking just hours after surgery, and breakthrough advances such as custom-fit joints position you for a longer pain-free life. 215-710-5888. St. Mary Orthopedics. It's your health. Expect more.
Your day-to-day life is hectic between having to pick up the kids, make dinner, the countless other tasks that you got to get done. Rob's Automotive and Collision is there to make your life a whole lot easier. Make sure you take advantage of their spacious waiting rooms, the large flat-screen TVs, complimentary coffee and muffins, and free Wi-Fi. So even when you do have to stop, Rob's is there to make you feel right at home. Give Rob's a call today at 215-826-9200 for any of your auto repair needs.
The On Pattison podcast with Mike Missinelli and Anthony Sanfilippo. This is our version of what they do on that show. Pardon the interruption. You ever watch that show?
PTI, yes, I do, on ESPN.
Do you watch that show?
Wilbon and Kornheiser. So I got to admit, when I was in college in D.C. back in the early 90s, Tony Kornheiser was my favorite read in the Washington Post. I used to love his column.
Uh-huh.
And then so when they started to do this show, I said, I got to watch it. And then over time, I was like,
Were you at the radio station when I got into that storied clash on the radio with Wilbon?
Yes.
You were?
I believe that was, I believe I was there. I remember it happening, right? So was that in, I want to say 01?
Probably, because he was
talking
about whenever the All-Star game was in Philly, whatever year that was. Was that 01?
I think so.
Yeah, and that was when they booed Kobe Bryant.
Yes. Yeah.
And his column assassinated Philadelphia fans.
Yes, I remember.
Kobe. Now, listen, God rest his soul, but at that time, Kobe had taken a lot of shots at Philadelphia, saying he disavowed any connection to Philly. He was now a Laker and the whole bit.
Yeah.
So when he arrived at the All-Star game, he was booed. And Wilbon went out of his mind in a column saying how classless we were and all this kind of stuff. But he didn't realize the backstory of it. So I kind of pinned him down on the radio, and it was very unpleasant.
I remember.
But in any event, this is our version of Pardon the Interruption, where we go down a list of quick topics. All right, Ant. Ben Simmons going into competitive fishing. Your thoughts?
I never would have thought that of all things that okay, I'm just going to go from basketball to competitive fishing. Now I think what's misleading, Mike, is that, and that's Marcus Spears' story. It's actually a really good story. People get a chance to read it. Look it up. It's a really good story on Ben Simmons. But I think that the headline was a little misleading in the sense that it was saying that his basketball career was on pause.
Yeah.
It's really not. When you read the story, he's still working out, still trying to redo his basketball career. But this is something else that he's kind of gotten into in case that doesn't work out for him. And he's going to be competitive. He bought like this thing. He's going to run this team of competitive fishers. It's great.
I mean, listen, I don't know how much fishing he's done in his life. He grew up in Australia. Maybe he fished for some, big game fish. I never really heard that side of him. But what is this rekindling his basketball career? What does that mean? He's got no chance to rekindle anything. He's finished. He had no heart to play the game.
I know, and I don't think that he's really trying to rekindle it. I think that was just some words that he put out there to make it think like, hey, in case somebody wants to take a chance and give me a contract again.
A lot of people are asking me what my email address is. You can get me through my Twitter at MikeMiss25. And the reason why I went MikeMiss25 is I honored Ben Simmons. That's the reason why I put the 25 in there.
Is it really?
Yeah. And because because he was such a bust, I can't change it now. But he is without question. Every time I hear his name, I cringe inside. The hatred I have for the man who blew an entire career and blew an era of Sixers basketball because of his selfishness.
Yeah. Well,
he and Carson Wentz are 1-2.
Yeah, I mean, look,
I'll never forgive either of them.
And I'll tell you, and I used to do a show with Rob Motti. You remember Rob Motti?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I used to do a show with Rob Motti, and we were talking about Embiid and Simmons. This is right back at the beginning when Simmons was just a rookie. And I remember saying on that show, I don't see how these two are going to work together. I just don't. I think Embiid is excellent, and I don't think Ben Simmons is. and I don't think it's going to work.
The problem is he could have been excellent. I thought the kid could have been magic. I really did. When he first came
Wow.
up, like the things that he could do on a basketball court and mismatch people at 6'10" as a point guard, and then he just gave it away. I've never seen anything like it. Like he's a guy that once scored 42 points in a game without a jump shot. Never decided that he could take a jump shot ever. Like what kind of professional player, when somebody points out a weakness, doesn't work on the weakness and do something that he can't do?
But how much of that was on the Sixers?
Well, is it on the Sixers? When you go to the basketball court, what are you doing at the basketball court? When you're just messing around, you get to a basketball court. What are you doing? You're shooting a basketball.
Yeah,
you're shooting a basketball. You're taking a jump shot at a basketball. You're not practicing a dunk. You're shooting a basketball.
Correct.
Like where and what earth did he decide he doesn't have to shoot a basketball? There has never been a guard in the history of the NBA who was afraid to actually take a jump shot. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. That was pretty wild. You know what? They could have won with him just if he was in a slightly different role. If he didn't have to be the number 2 guy, like if he could have been, the third or fourth guy.
He was a star caliber player.
Yeah, but that's where I didn't see it. I just didn't see it.
I saw. I mean,
Great
he
defensive
was in
player.
a lot of ways like Eric Lindros on an on-ice rush, down-ice rush. He was like that with the basketball in his hand at one time.
Okay.
Frightening. Get to the basket anytime he wanted, but would not shoot a jump shot.
Yeah.
All right, let's get off of him. Cooper DeJean has a new girlfriend. Is she a WWE girl?
Nikki Bella?
What do you think?
Well, we don't know for sure.
I'll tell you what I think. Women weaken legs, Rock.
So, Mike, here's the thing that's most fascinating. But here's the thing that's the most fascinating thing about it, right? And whether or not they're actually dating, we don't know. But there's a lot of smoke out there, and when there's smoke, there's fire. But here's the thing: Cooper DeJean's 22. Nikki Bella's 42.
Yep.
Good for the guy.
Coop is riding in the highlights. This is what I think about Coop. Now he's getting a little too city-ish.
Yeah.
He's a country kid. He's an Iowa kid. He's coming here. He's getting a little too city-ish. He's at the games all the time. He's messing around WWE. He's doing this, doing that.
Yeah.
Pump
the brakes. Pump the brakes a little bit.
Pump the brakes a little bit.
Hey, you know what? If he's got a 42-year-old girlfriend, good for him.
All right.
Good for him.
If she was 42 and wasn't connected to WWE, what would you have thought?
Good, still good for him.
Good for him.
Look, hey, if that's what he's attracted to, if the heart wants what the heart wants, right?
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
DK Metcalf, little slap on a fan, and now he stands to lose what? $44 million in guaranteed salary.
It's unbelievable, the money for this. And I don't necessarily know if he's going to lose all that money, right? I mean, he's going to get some of it, I think, but he loses the guarantee. So he loses what, 500,000? I think it was 500,000 that he loses for with the 2-game suspension.
Yeah,
but that he loses the guarantee on future money to be earned. That's where I thought it was way too excessive. And everybody's come out
the contract doing something to embarrass the organization. There's a morals clause in every contract. He violated the morals clause.
Yeah.
Now he'll fight that. The Players Association will have his back. But we'll see.
Some players already come. Like Aaron Rodgers has already come out in defense of him. And for whatever that's worth.
I know fans can really get you upset. You can't go over and slap a guy.
Yeah. You shouldn't interact with the fans. Period.
No, you shouldn't.
But that's where we're at.
What they say. I know they can say some inflammatory things, but you got to go. You got to suck it up.
Has it gotten out of control now, Mike, with the fans, with how emboldened they are with this stuff with these players?
I think they've always been that way.
In general.
Yeah, I think they've always been that way. It's just that we have more focus on it now because of social media, because everybody's got a camera on everybody.
Yeah.
I think they've always been that way.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
All right. Quentin Grimes' brother is who? A Canucks defenseman? What is this about?
Isn't that crazy? And
Tyler Myers.
I did not know this, and I'm at the game on Monday night, and I had no idea that Quentin Grimes and Tyler Myers are brothers. Now, Tyler Myers is 10 years older than Quentin Grimes. They have the same mom. It's not the same dad, but the same mom. And Quentin Grimes went over to check out his brother's hockey game, and I'm like,
well, so Tyler Myers is a tall white hockey player, right?
yes,
Okay, and Quentin Grimes is black.
yes,
Yeah, so you would never put two and two together, right? But the mom obviously is white.
yes,
Okay,
yeah, and it was a little bit surprising. Like I was just stunned that was like I would not have put those two in the same boat. Tyler Myers has played like 1,100 games in the NHL,
and the hockey player is taller than the basketball player.
Yeah, he's taller than Quentin Grimes. Like I was floored by this. I had no idea.
It is a pretty interesting story.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to some Christmas tunes here as we wrap it up.
Yep.
Now you can go old school, like the classics. I like the classics, so I would go White Christmas, number one.
It's in my top 5.
The Christmas song you can't beat to me. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
Yep.
Jack Frost nipping at. That's got to be number 2. Jingle Bells has to be in the top 5.
I didn't have it in my top 5.
Really?
Yeah.
Deck the Halls with Boughs of Holly. Fa la 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 la.
Also not in my top 5.
No, and I'll Be Home for Christmas, or Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yeah, I tried to blend them together, the old school and the new school. Right?
Who you got?
All right. First of all, I have an honorable mention, so I came up with 6. So
Christmas by Donny Hathaway.
No, my number 6 is Christmas in Hollis by Run DMC.
Oh, quality.
Good one, right?
Christmas in Hollis, Queens is an absolute quality.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah, it was on my. I couldn't keep it off the list, but number 5, I had the Christmas song. I agree with you there. Definitely a good chestnut there.
Yeah.
Number 4, I actually like Bruce Springsteen's version of "Here Comes Santa Claus," and I don't like Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, I thought you were going to go the other way.
What's that?
Oh, it's all cold along the boardwalk. The wind whipping down the boardwalk. Hey, Ben. You're not going to go with that Bruce Springsteen one? No. Okay.
No. And I'm not a big Springsteen guy, but I actually like his version of "Here Comes Santa Claus." I think that's a good one.
Okay.
I know that this is going to be a difficult one that is kind of spread across. Some people love it, some people hate it, but I enjoy it, and it's newer, 1994 if you consider that new. But Whitney Houston's "All I Want for Christmas."
Good. Now, Mariah Carey should be in there too, as well, with her Christmas song.
Yeah.
How about this one? Wham! Last Christmas, gave you my heart. Come on,
that's another great one.
Can't ignore Wham! Now, if you want to go serious, you go Little Drummer Boy, Pa Rumpa Pum Pum. Can't beat Pa Rumpa Pum Pum in there, right?
I don't. You still haven't got my number 1.
Silent Night's got to be in there.
No, still haven't got my number 1. So All Over Christmas, number 3. Number 2 is White Christmas. I agree with you. That's the old.
I'll be Bing Crosby's version. I'll be dreaming.
Yeah, I agree. Number 1, and because I love the music of it, is the "God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen." God rest ye merry gentlemen, you dismay. Yeah. Remember Christ the Savior was born on Christmas Day. I love the music of it, right? I mean, it's kind of. Are you a Catholic school kid? I am. You are a Catholic school kid. I am. All right. So that you sang "God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen" a lot, I would think. Yes, we did, and it was always tied to "Carol of the Bells." And then it went ding 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 ding. Yes, so you would play that first, and then you would go into the version of "God Rest You Merry Gentlemen." So it was great musically to do that, and so like that was always been my favorite. All right, you got it. Let's close it out with my picks of the week. Yes. Yeah, the picks of the week this week. I only have 2 picks. I didn't really look at it this closely because anything can happen these last couple of weeks. Yeah. The Seahawks are at Carolina. Carolina needing a win to win that division, get into the playoffs, are a 7-point underdog at home. The odds makers give them no chance. The odds makers speak to me. I'll take Seattle to cover the 7.5. I think Seattle wins. I think they win by a couple touchdowns, the Seahawks. I think Seattle wins that game, but I think it's going to be a tougher game than you think, Mike. I think traveling across the country during a holiday, Having to play at Carolina with so much on the line, I think that they're going to play a close game. I still think Seattle wins, but I'm not sure they cover that
All
set.
right, you got Carolina covering there. My second one, the Texans at the Chargers. The Chargers are slender 1.5 at home. That also tells me a little something. I'll take the Texans there to win that game.
Yeah, that's it. I look. I loved Houston last week, and they didn't cover. I was wrong about that one, but I do think that Houston team is maybe the best team
Solid.
in the
solid defensive team. Very solid defensive team.
I can see them in the Super Bowl, Mike. That's how much
I know.
like.
You said that last week when we talked about this.
I can. That defense is really good. Here's my one pick of the week. I only give one every week. And I can't believe this line. Steelers are -3 against Cleveland. And the Steelers win the game. They win the division. They're in the playoffs, and they don't have to wait till the last game of the season when they play Baltimore, which could be for the division. Lock it up against a bad Cleveland team. I know Cleveland's defense is good, and the Steelers are going to be without Metcalf.
Yeah,
but they got to win by a field goal.
Here's the thing:
right?
you totally go against my whole philosophy. Because when I look at that line, I think the same thing. How in the world is this only a 3-point game?
Yeah.
Well, it's a 3-point game for a reason. This is one of those games where the line is speaking to you.
Yeah.
Like -3, Pittsburgh is too easy. When it's too easy, you go the other way. I don't know why I couldn't bet on Cleveland, but I'm telling you, that scares me a little bit, that 3-point line. Should be higher.
Yeah, I just think that the Steelers have a situation in front of them that they probably weren't expecting. They were probably looking at that Baltimore game, last game of the season, as that was going to be for the division, and all of a sudden they can lock it up the week before that. I think the Steelers are going to do it. I think that they get it done. Mike Tomlin's a good coach. He's a good coach. Another winning season. Good coach.
Everything you say is true. I believe in everything you say. I looked at that line. I said, why is that only -3? When I say that, I either stay away or I play the other side.
And that's fair.
And it wouldn't shock me if Cleveland loses by a point in this game.
If that happens, that happens. And then I'm
to wrap it up, Eagles and Bills, a lot at stake. More incentive for the Bills to win than the Eagles. The Eagles look like they're locked into the number 3 seed. The Buffalo Bills need to win to get a home game in the playoff by winning their division. So anything can go in this game. Again, another 1.5 type of situation. And you like the Eagles in this game?
I don't.
I don't like the Eagles.
If I had to pick the game, I would stay away from this game. I think it's a close game.
It's definitely a stay away game. And my only thing here is that Bills can't stop the run. The Eagles can run the football, although they did it against 2 inferior teams. I'm going to say the Eagles running the football against this team can score some points. They can score like 27 points, and their defense can hold the Bills to 23. So somewhere in that line, I got the Eagles.
Wow. That's so funny that you said that, because I was going to give you my final score of 27-23 Buffalo.
All right. Well, there you go. There you go. We're in the same church, but the wrong pew.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. That'll do it for On Pattison Podcast with Mike Messinelli and Anthony Sanfilippo. Thanks, everybody, for listening and watching. You can catch this on the stream on all podcast networks. And have a happy holiday. The holiday season is still going. So
yeah, just remind everybody, Mike, we are taking next week off because it's New Year's Day, and then we're not going in. We're going to wait till after the weekend, and then we'll be back the week after that.
That is correct. We'll be off for New Year's. We're celebrating New Year's with y'all.
Yeah.
In spirit.
Yeah.
All right. Take care, everybody. Take care.
Have a good one.